Here's season 2 of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Australia. Ooh. Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Series 2, Episode 1. Stop Thief Australian Maid. Thomas stood at Puffing Billy, the top station on Percy's branch line. He had brought round Annie and Clarabelle after the morning journey and was enjoying a short rest before the run back to the Forest Railway. His driver and fireman were talking to the guard, who had brought some startling news. "Did you know that the station master was burgled last night?" he was asking. The driver shook his head. "You don't say," he exclaimed. "I didn't know he had anything worth stealing." "He's one catch for cake making," explained the fireman. "All taken. Then the scoundrels had the cheek to pinch his carts and carry them away in." "Not that new one he's so proud of," said the driver. The guard nodded. When the train was ready, they set off. By the time they were through the tunnel, the train was running nicely. Road and railway were together. Thomas remembered his race with Bertie the bus. He only won because he could go through the mountain called Mount Green, while Bertie always takes the long way to go round it. A flash of colour on the road ahead caught his eye. He tried to go faster to look more closely. "Steady, Thomas," said his driver. "There's plenty of time." "Can't we get closer to that car?" panted Thomas. "It looks like the station master's car to me." "Lots of cars look like that," laughed the driver, but he opened the regulator, and they began to draw level. There were two men in the car. They waved when they saw Thomas and tried to go faster. "That's the car, all right, Thomas," said the fireman, "and those two must be the thieves. We can't stop them. They'll be long gone before the next station." "We need paper and something to put a note in," said the driver. "We'll throw a message out at the next signal box." "Good thinking." Quickly, he wrote the note and they put it in the fireman's empty lunch tin. Then drawing ahead of the car, Thomas whistled to attract the signalman's attention. They slowed down so the fireman could throw him the lunchbox. And as they both passed, both the driver and fireman shouted, "Police! Police!" at the top of their voices. By now, the stolen car had gone well ahead, and Thomas did not see it again. But the signalman telephoned police headquarters at once, and the thieves were stopped at a roadblock about 10 miles further on. The Fed controller arrived with the station master, glad to have his car back, and the cops were undamaged. "Well done, Thomas. That's the last time we had some robbery haunt us. You've shown how valuable you are to the Aussie Railway, and it's good to have your Aussie series made for YouTube. Seems as our maker wanted to celebrate your film made for 30 years. Thank you, sir." Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Series 2, Episode 2, Mind That Bike, Australian made. Percy's known Tom Tipper for years. He did the post work with Postman Pat. Every morning, he would have a cheering word for Percy when he comes to help load the mail bags on his train. Percy takes them to a post office somewhere in Australia. The post factory in Glenorchy. Percy takes them to a post office somewhere in Australia. It's the Australia Post Factory in Glenorchy. Where letters would be sorted. But one morning Tom wasn't there. A postman they didn't know just dumped the bags on the platform and cycled off without stopping to help. What's happened to Tom? Wondered Percy's driver. And his van, said the fireman. No wonder the new chap looks fed up. Carrying mail bags on a bike would make anyone miserable. Tom was back, but without his van. During his illness, it had been decided that the van was too expensive to run. Poor Tom was no longer cheerful, and now he had no time to help load the train. I wish I could cheer him up, sighed Percy, the small engine. One day, a man from the station office came to tell Tom that some papers needed signing. Oh dear, he said anxiously, this is going to make me a bit late. He asked Percy to keep an eye on his bike while he was gone and propped it carefully against the fence near the platform ramp. He was gone a long time and not returned when Percy was ready to go. Some boys were playing on the platform and Percy was worried. Sorry, Percy, said his driver. We must be off. Can't stand here all day looking at that bike. Percy saw one of the boys pick up Tom's bike. He pedaled too far along the platform, and before he could stop, ran out of control, head straight for Percy's wheels. Crunch! It went after the boy fell clear. Percy stopped his train and he hit the bike. What the? The boys ran off, realizing they were in trouble again. Tom came running to see what the noise was. Sorry, Mr. Tipper, these boys are fiddling with your bike. Never mind, Percy, it wasn't your fault, and I never liked that bike much anyway. When the Fed controller heard about the accident, he ordered that Tom should be provided with a new bicycle at once. But the next morning when Percy arrived at Puffing Billy, he saw Tom standing there with the new van. "It looks nice, the new van." "Thanks. It's the third time I had to have it restored. Now I won't be late. 4 wheels is better than 1. "So I did help," said Percy to himself. By accident again. Professor Tank Engine in Fens, Australia, Series 2, Episode 3. Fish, Australian made. The fishermen all used the pot and branch line station were bringing in more fish than ever before. Each day the pier was piled with boxes. Much of this extra fish had to travel by rail, so trains which Henry and the other engines had to pull became heavier. One night, a special load of fish was ordered, and the Fat Controller decided that the vans must be added to the train. The man called the Flying Cod. He owned the spare vans that workmen that they could find were old ones and had been standing unused on a siding for some time. Workmen cleaned them quickly, and they were added to the tail of the train. Henry didn't like taking a long train which was heavy. Never mind, he thought. Only a banker up the steep hill. Doc was at Small Engine Docks waiting for Henry with the heavy train, ready to give him a push. Henry made good progress in spite of his heavy load. He whistled to get Doc to help him up the hill. He buffered up behind the train and off they went. They came to the hill and started climbing up. Then there was trouble. Henry's train seemed to be going ahead, and Doc could feel his buffer not pushing against it. All trains carry a red lamp on the last track to show that the train's complete. A tail lamp just fell off. Somewhere. Uh-oh, he thought, I'll have to get Henry to slow down. Henry felt a clank too and began to slow down to stop. Crash! From behind him, Doc had an accident. He broke the last track. Bits of it fell on him. A smell of fish hung on the air. By the light of torches, the drivers and firemen looked at the mess, trying to find the tail lamp and working out what happened, while the guard ran back down the hill to warn the signalman. When daylight came, it was all too obvious. The lamped iron on the old van, which should have held the tail lamp had broken and the lamp had fallen at the bottom of the hill. "Not your fault, Duck," said the Fat Controller. "That lamp iron should have been checked. That's the last time you've damaged yourself, but we'll get you straightened out." "Thank you, sir," said Duck sadly. "Thomas told me once to be careful about the fish. He was right, wasn't he?" Thomas the Tank Engine and Fans, Australia, Series 2, Episode 4. Triple header, Australian made. Gordon was resting in a siding. It was a hot day and the express had been heavy. "I get so out of breath," he complained. "From some run I made, my workings do need a look at." "Get the Fat Controller to give you tanks in a bunker," suggested Thomas cheekily. "You feel like a new engine. We tank engines never get out of breath, you know." "Only kidding. You can't have a change on yourself." "That's because I'm designed to be a tender engine." Of course, that's the way he was made, because Beckham and Chains have made him. When they asked permission from Britt Hawcroft to make some of the Thomas models for our train sets, the men worked hard on Gordon, but they couldn't make him better. "Your pistons are weak, Gordon," they said. "You'll have to go till the works have been fitted." While Gordon was being mended, Henry pulled the express. But one morning, just before Gordon was due back, Henry was ill too. We've no spare engine except Thomas, the inspector told the Fat Controller. But he can't pull the train on his own. Could Percy help? Asked the Fat Controller. No, but they'll manage if Duck, the inspector suggested. It's only as far as Hilltop Station. 3801 will take over. So the 3 tank engines are coupled together. Thomas nearest the train. Duck in the middle. And slowly they started. Come on, first person, importantly. We're doing it, said Duck, puffing. Pull harder, grumbled Thomas to the others. The heavy train drew out of the platform. The engines couldn't go as fast as Gordon, but the passengers didn't mind. They knew that Percy, Thomas and Duck were doing their best. Expresses are not like branch line trains, and they don't stop at all the stations, and the engines don't have a chance to get their breath back. They went up a steep hill, fighting the strain. I'm glad we didn't stick there, thought Thomas. Gordon would never have let us hear the last of it. Percy was glad they got to the hill, at the top of the hill. He knew he couldn't stop because they had to keep the brakes off. They were nearly there as they started to get puffed out. I'm getting out of breath, said Thomas. So am I, said Duck. They got there, uncoupled from the train, and let 3801 take over. There'll be no more triple headers for them in future.